Welcome everybody. Today's video finds us over here in Ayutthaya in a rainy, almost floody time. Anyway, what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at a temple I've been to before, but I haven't been over here in almost 4 years or so, so I wanted to check it out today. We're going to take a look at a temple that they believe was built around 1530 to 1550, somewhere in there, in the Middle Ayutthaya era, during the reign of King Narai. We're going to look at Wat Phanom Yong. Now, the exact date, they don't really know when it was built, but they just can estimate it based on the styling of the reclining Buddha and the old hall that we'll take a look at. So let's walk through here. I'll tell you a little bit about it, and we'll just kind of enjoy the day. So this is the canal, and there used to be like a crossing that would take you across it. This used to be the old route of the Lopburi River before it changed courses. Now it's a city canal. And right over there is actually kind of interesting. That is the island, and that's the home of the Prime Minister. I can't remember his name, but he was born here in Ayutthaya. He was the Prime Minister like in the 30s, I think. And so they still maintain the old houses and stuff that he was raised in. But this is where you come in. You can come in over that little bridge that's right there, or you can come in by the road. So the first thing you see, this is kind of a water storage. It's kind of interesting. They have some chetties, and then the temple itself opens up. It's not overly large, but it is an active temple, so there still will be monks in residence here. I think there's 7 monk quarters here, and then they have a crematorium, and they do all the normal ceremonies and stuff. Over here, this is kind of like a meeting hall. It's a new construct, and then you have all the monk quarters that are like a mix of wood and brick. In the old days, the kutis is what you called it, would all be made out of wood, but now they're using modern building material and stuff to construct them. So this is the old hall. This is the first thing we'll look at, and then we'll go over and look at the reclining Buddha. And that's, to me, is the highlight. I really like the reclining Buddha here. And here's the name, the Wat Phanom Yong. Now, there's a couple legends about this temple as far as where it's named. The wet nurse of King Narai, that was the one that was here, her name was Yong. And after she died, what they did is they started building a temple on her gardens here. And that's what kind of evolved out of it. Now, she had the name Yong, and they didn't have like surnames in Thailand, I think, until the reign of King Rama VI. So that's pretty new. Everybody had just like one name, and then they would have some honorifics and stuff attached to it. So this is the hall. Now this was originally built, like I said, in the 1500s. The exact date is unknown, because this was destroyed by the Burmese in 1767. And then they came back in and they restored it to what you see now. And then it's been registered as a historical landmark since '92. And there's a foundation that's in charge of taking care of this, and I think it's even has royal status. But this is inside the hall. Now, the reclining Buddha may be why it's Phanom. That's kind of a for a better term, a bastardization of Phra Nom, which is the reclining Buddha, and we'll look at it here in a bit. So here is the murals. Check this out. So these have been touched up fairly recently, but you still can see where the groundwater is coming up. I mean, you saw how high that canal is over there? So the groundwater, I mean, you just dig a small little hole, and then, you know, it's going to fill up with water. The water table is so high here. But the murals in here are fantastic. And most of these old temples, you'll see a red ceiling. Here, they got a kind of that turquoise. Oh, it's fantastic. It looks like somebody's doing a little work. They're installing a camera over there is what they're doing. Oh, really cool. But the murals in here are just beautiful. And you can see the small little images here. And then the main image. It's kind of a small head on the Buddha. And then a cool mural of like a chetty back behind it. Oh, really, really nice. Yeah, I really like seeing the murals. It kind of has a little bit of a feel of like the Ayutthaya styling, but it's not. It's clearly Bangkok styling. But you see a little bit of it over here with kind of the way they have these jagged lines. And then check out the lotus flowers and the goddess of the earth here. And that's the scene over there with like the elephants and the flooding of the world. And that's kind of some more of the little jagged lines right there. All right, so let's go look at the reclining Buddha and a couple of the other things that are around here. And so the workers are all here. They got the kids, got the little girl over there. The little boy is helping do the stuff. Yeah, this is a beautiful little hall. So it's not overly large. I think it's like 14 meters by like 21 meters or 28 meters. But it's really a nice, elegant little hall with the two windows, and then you can see how it's bowed in the middle. So it was completely destroyed, and this temple was abandoned, but they've came back in here and restored it to what you see now. Yeah, I really, really like the balconies. So those ruins that you see in the historical park that are just like bases with a little bit of columns and stuff sticking up, that's what they would have looked like, is that. And then over here is the crematorium, and there is a funeral going on. So we'll kind of skirt around it. And then you can go over here and to the right, and that will take you across the bridge to the island if you're in a car or a tuk-tuk. Okay, so there's over here, they got a little shrine. They got a building here that I think is locked up. It has a huge image in it. And then over here is the funeral. So they got the body up there and the flowers and stuff like that. And then kind of a cool little shrine here with the Nagas. And then they got a place here with the chickens. Yeah, King Narai is famous for the chicken duel. He, whenever he was the prince, his fighting chicken defeated the fighting chicken of the Burmese prince. It's a point of pride for the Thais. Yeah, and in here it looks like it's locked up, but there's a humongous Buddha image in there. Yeah, you can see it. So they probably have like this open for the funerals. And then over here will be a Ruku, the giant that eats the moon. Yeah, this is the Ruku. Got kind of a little shrine built for it right here. And then Ayutthaya, the town and stuff, is right there. Looks like a Hong Kong cafe, looks kind of interesting. And then they have a little sala over here. Now this reclining Buddha is in the shape of that temple, Wat what's the name of it? It's up in Ongtan that has a humongous reclining Buddha. And this image is in the same style. And so they date it to the middle Ayutthaya era. And you see all the monks and the family and stuff up there. Yeah, they were chanting a little bit ago. So this is the Wihan. So the Wihan is gone, but they've built the building on the original footprint that would have covered this image. And then they have a little area here with some other images and stuff. All right, so let's stick our head in here and see what this looks like. So the reclining Buddhas to me are always fantastic. The only thing I like better are the old Ayutthaya style murals and then the Ayutthaya style buildings. So you can see the size of it. I'm not sure the length. It's probably about 20 meters or so long. And you can see the face, the eyes are kind of downcast, has the elongated earlobes, and then his hand is holding his head up. And there's a little shrine here for the Thais to come and pray. Yeah, and you can see where they've stuck the gold leaf on him, and his feet are way down there. So they built these buildings and they have these square columns to support the roof. They're so massive that they took a lot of columns, so it's kind of hard to see. But with this one, you could come to the head right here and you can see down the length of it. Quite nice. But it still does have the columns blocking your view, and then the back side of it, and you see the hair rolls and the top knot. And you can see down here the feet are all the same length, which you see that some reclining Buddhas, you'll see them where they have kind of normal looking feet, but most of the time they will look like this. And then sometimes they'll have like a mother of pearl inlay in the feet with all the auspicious symbols. This one doesn't have that. Sometimes they'll have a prayer, like the wheel of law, the like little prayer wheel that'll be integrated into it. This one doesn't have that either. Yeah, really nice. It's kind of cool. And you just see how the Wehan used to look. And this would have been the outer wall originally. And this is a protected site, so they did register it as a historic monument, I think in '92. And then there was a foundation that donated a bunch of money to restore it. Yeah, really quite cool. So that's the whole temple that we got to see. Well, that'll finish up our video over here at this Ayutthaya era temple. I really like coming and seeing stuff like this. It's a little bit of the history. Now, the reason why I say it's part of the history is that the houses and everything were all made out of wood, so they all burned whenever the Burmese came, as well as the records. Like any of the documents talking about, you know, what was going on at the time, they were all destroyed. But the temples themselves were made out of brick or stone, so they mostly survived, and then they could track them through the styling, and they know when they were built under which king and everything else. And it was a really important part of, you know, the city's fabric also, is these temples. Buddhism is integrated into, you know, Thai life. You know, you just do your thing and then you come over to the temple, so it is part of what they do. So anyway, I like to go see it because it does give you kind of a snapshot of, you know, what it looked like, and you get to learn a little bit. So hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, smash the like button. If you're new to the channel, subscribe, and then you get to see some more stuff like this. And if you know more about this temple than I do, let me know in a comment down below. I would like to read about it. I do like to learn more about places like this. And subscribe if you're new here, all of that. And until next time, from over here in Ayutthaya, remember, life is a journey. So until next time, enjoy.